Hello everybody, I hope you're keeping really well. Today we're looking at refeeding. I have shared a lot of short videos and clips on refeeding in my biohacking group and in the forum, and I've shared studies and posts around the benefits of refeeding. And recently I did a video on refeeding syndrome, which was shared with some of my paid clients and my master's guide. If you haven't seen it, reach out to me and I'll send it to you if you're a client. But I wanted to kind of relook at refeeding and why it's important and why we're doing it. And there's many reasons that we have refeeds, so a refeed meal or a refeed day or a refeed evening or something like that. There's many reasons, and my innate system wants to say, well, we do it so our metabolism doesn't slow down, but that's not it. So refeeding does help reset a lot of hormones. It helps boost thyroid hormones. It helps to reset the leptin hormone. Lower levels of leptin hormone, when not approached or addressed correctly, can cause rebound weight gain and uncontrolled eating. So I always want to be cognizant of all this stuff. When you go low calorie or fast or calorie restrict for too long, your metabolism can slow down, and in some people we can see that happen around day 4 or 5, and refeeding can help to offset that as well. Refeeding is like giving your body a hug. It says it's okay, like you can just keep producing the proper hormones. There's an abundance of food. It's okay. Don't go into survival mode, because everybody knows when you have carbs, when you have chocolate, when you have, dare I say, junk food or treats or whatever, for that while, they make you feel good. They make you feel like yummy and cozy, and like they really give you those endorphins and boost your serotonin, and like they're important. When people calorie restrict for too long, not only do you see that affect the metabolism and the hormones, but it starts to mess with their mental health, and we don't want that, and it'll mess with their sleep. And refeeding is a very valuable tool, especially for people who train heavy and hard. Refeeding can be great for boosting metabolism, but also offsetting cortisol from overtraining as well, and building muscle. Refeeding can be amazing tool for that, especially if you plan your refeeds properly. But I digress. For us though, refeeding, not only does it do all that stuff with metabolism and hormones, there's a psychological aspect to refeeding. It can help support consistency and sustainability. Those two are the key words. If you're to keep your weight off forever and be successful, you need to hold on to those two words tight. You need to be consistent always and forever. This is the rest of your life. And whatever you're doing, it needs to be sustainable. Not just for your palate, but for your lifestyle as well. So whatever you're doing, so having a refeed can be helpful there on a couple of levels. Like, some people do great during the week if they know they can look forward to, like, Saturday having their favorite treats or having some chocolate or going out for a date night with their husband. Or some people will do really good if they know, well, I can have my favorite pizza on Friday night or something like that. And some people, of course, they just can't do that. It's not enough. It's not enough. They'll just go haywire every day, and that's where we might look at flexible dieting. But refeeding, for the psychological aspects, can really help, because a lot of other, shall we say, diets and even meal plans, they just want you to restrict long term, and they don't even give you a transition phase. Okay, when you hit your goal, what do you do then? Because if you just start eating like you used to, all that weight's going to come back and more. Part of that is because you never address the leptin, and even there's another thing called the collagen matrix around the cells. Not to complicate things, but don't worry about it. I'm already doing it with my clients and my master's guys. But refeeding can help with that consistency. Like, you're not always going to be deprived, and if your teacher is good, They will be able to help you like plan extra refeeds or manipulate events or vacations or whatever. So refeeding can be helpful instead of always being doom and gloom. Oh my God, I just have to calorie restrict and eat lettuce for the rest of my life. No, that's not how you do it. There has to be give and take. I can give you a refeed and I can help you get success, but you have to do the same back. You have to say, okay, I'll be good if I can get this. Like there has to be give and take on each side. I've always said to my clients, you have to earn a refeed. I have a whole video on it. If you don't earn your refeeds, you're going to gain weight and you're just kidding yourself. You've been refeeding all week and now you're calling Saturday your refeed day. No, you've been having treats all week. That's not how it works. That's not a refeed. That's just another day of treats. That's all that is. And that's where you're going to gain weight for sure. Like you will definitely gain weight. But refeeding has all of these benefits, so many benefits. Let me just cite a couple of studies for you. Higher calorie days and calorie cycling can help keep weight off and encourage further weight loss and continuation of long-term success. So one of these studies, you'll find it on PubMed, the maintenance of lost weight and long-term management of obesity. And then there's another really great one, and this one highlights how shifting calories, having high calorie days and low calorie days, and low carb days and low protein days and high carb days and high protein can really, I suppose, keep your metabolism guessing and keep things spicy, but give you a lot of variety. This one as well is the National Library of Medicine. You'll find it on PubMed. It's titled Calorie Shifting Diet versus Calorie Restriction Diet, a comparative clinical study. And what they found was that when you have these higher calorie days instead of just this steady train of low calories restriction all the time, the participants were more likely to be successful and keep the weight off in long term. So that's a really good study, and I have these shared in the forum as well. And then there's another study shows the effects of continuous calorie restriction on men and their thyroid and how refeeding improved endocrine markers, which also is very relevant to women, but works better in women because women's thyroid is way more sensitive than men's. So there's several studies there, and there's a lot more in the biohacking group. So there's a lot of benefits. Really, the highlights that I want you to take away is when you go low calorie restrict for a certain amount of time, your metabolism will adapt. Your body is really smart. It wants to keep you alive. So it's always watching, okay, what's she doing? Okay, I'm going to stop this in the tracks here so we stay alive. So if you're going low calorie, then your metabolism will slow to preserve that energy and it'll start to store more. But then we want to come in and say, hey, here you go. Here's a hug. Here's some, I'm going to say cake. It was the first thing to pop to my mind, but whatever. And that then boosts the metabolism. The metabolism goes, okay, she was just kidding. Like, we're not really in survival mode. Like, there's loads of food here. Let's go. And your metabolism will rev up and you'll feel this on your refeed day, and on post-refeed day, you'll just be like, whew, it's warm. And you'll feel like revved up in regards to like, my blood pressure is higher, my metabolism is pressure. It's like, let's go. But you might have like a blood sugar crash and be tired at the same time. I know it sounds very contradictory, but this is how it is. And then you reset the leptin hormone. So instead of when your leptin hormone drops, leptin is our satiety hormone. So when that drops, that's going to say, oh, we need to boost this up for survival, because it is a survival hormone as well. It helps with antioxidants and immunity and everything. So when your leptin level though is low, that's your satiety hormone is low. So then you're more hungry. And because this is a hormone, this is not necessarily mindset. It can get out of control because your body always wants to replenish that hormone, but it will replenish it plus more. Some researchers told us plus another 10%. So you bring your leptin back up plus another 10% just for security reasons. So that means you're eating more to bring the leptin levels back up, plus you're eating another 10%. So you can see how rebound weight gain can happen. And then we have the sustainability aspect, the psychological aspect. And when you get really clean with your diet and you feel great during the week, yeah, it's great to have these treats and have fun with your family and enjoy them. But what can happen is, because your body's not used to these kind of foods, maybe the trans fats or the extra sugar or even the alcohol, like, because your body's cleaner now, it's going to affect you. You'll feel it the next day and you will be, oh, that didn't make me feel good. My body like doesn't tolerate these foods as much anymore. So it's definitely a learning curve as well. And that then encourages you to get back on track. Yeah, I enjoyed my day, but now I want to get back on track and feel good again. Like, that food doesn't make me feel good. So it's nice to have it sometimes, but there's a big learning curve on health journeys. So refeeding can be refeeding once a week for the whole day. This is generally suitable. And these are just guidelines, because obviously if you've questions or you're curious about your situation, you message me and we'll chat. But generally the whole refeed day, what we're seeing now, and I see it, and I hate to say this stuff, but I have to consider a client's lifestyle, their patterns, their mental health, what I perceive of them when I'm making recommendations. Having a full refeed day is good for most people. Most people will enjoy it, but it's most beneficial for people who exercise regularly. People who are more sedentary and have a lot more weight to lose, a refeed day can slow them down. It depends on how, quote, good they were during the week. It can slow down their progress though. Some people may do better with a half a refeed day, especially if they like have an office job and they really haven't been moving at all week. Some people will do well with one refeed meal. That will depend on, like, one, their lifestyle, but also how fast they want to get to their results as well. At the very least, we want to see a refeed meal in there once a week, just to make sure there's no hiccups with the metabolism and the hormones. But now with the new members, I'm about to launch another round of the Master's Guide, which is a more advanced version of my original HITA guide. But for their first week now, they're not having a refeed day until week 2. So I really want to push them into what's called super compensation mode, where I'm going to deplete as much of that glycogen and fat as I can out of their muscle and their tissues, and then I'm going to bring in a refeed day, and then after that they will have a refeed every week, whether that's a day, a half a day, or a meal, provided they're being good during the week and what their lifestyle is. I communicate with my clients a lot, so that helps me guide them, like, this is good for you, this is good for you. It depends. It really is very dependent on the client's lifestyle, their habits, how fast they want to get results, while being cognizant, if I push myself too far, I could mess stuff up, and how disciplined they are. So there's a lot to be considered, but refeed days are very important, and I really do hope people get the whole sustainability aspect. The psychological aspect, again, yes, there's a couple of people where a refeed day, they could be doing great for so long, and then they'll have a refeed day, and then they've opened Pandora's box and they won't be able to close it again, and I'll have to come in maybe with some sort of resetting tool to get them back into it. So in a sense, it's playing with fire, but in a sense, it's not, if that makes sense. Like, for some people, it's very individual. It really is, but it is a very valuable tool. So I hope I've kind of emphasized the importance of using a refeed day, especially if, like, this is going to be your life forever. There's no way you could calorie restrict and eat clean and be good forever. Like, not even I could do that. Let's be realistic. Like, vacations, holidays, anniversaries, birthdays, like, come on, sometimes you just have a terrible day and you want wine and chocolate. So refeeding and understanding refeeding and using it properly, and using your offsetting tools and watching the refeeding syndrome and managing your gut and earning your refeed and all of this stuff, it really does work. But as you can see, there's a lot to learn. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. Bye bye.